They have at least cleared the campus, secured the campus, and many of those law enforcement officers that we saw here all day have now moved away from this scene. Now, the suspect, according to witnesses, walked onto campus here very calm and methodical, shooting people as he walked onto campus, and then entered the library. Students were on campus taking their final exams or studying for their finals. Now, at a briefing earlier today, Santa Monica's police chief described the gunman who was ultimately shot and killed by law enforcement officers.
The suspect in this incident has yet to be identified, but he's described as being a male white, 25 to 30 years of age approximately. He was wearing all black clothing and what appears to be a ballistic vest. We have a subject of interest in custody pending our ability to affirmatively connect that subject to evidence that was found on the scene. So what that translates to is we are not convinced 100% that the suspect who was killed operated in a solo or alone capacity.
Now, again, at that briefing, you're hearing a Santa Monica police chief saying that law enforcement officers have reason to believe that this gunman did not act alone. An individual has been detained for questioning. This individual only being called a person of interest, not a suspect. So again, still a lot of unanswered questions this morning today as the police and law enforcement try to piece together everything that happened, several scenes that they have to try to tie together and bring together. And again, there will be
indiscriminately up in the air. Now, the scene here is much more quiet than it was earlier today. There were many more police officers here earlier, but they have since left the area. You do see, you still have a police presence here, and they appear to be guarding the evidence on the street, namely a dozen or so shell casings that are strewn throughout Pico Boulevard. Now, we did speak with a number of witnesses, as you mentioned, who saw the whole thing unfold before them. One woman was at the light on the other side of the intersection, sitting in her car when the gunman started shooting, and she says she immediately ducked down toward the seat to hide.
This is a busy intersection in the middle of the day, and all of a sudden somebody just gets out of their car and starts shooting. It's so otherworldly. I didn't, and then it finally dawned on me that he was actually shooting a gun, and so a huge gun.
It was a large gun. Some people are telling me they thought it was an AK-47, but what do you think?
It was that big.
Yeah. How many shots did he fire, and do you know how long the whole thing lasted?
There was easily 15-ish. I mean, it just kept going off and off and off and off. It seemed to go on. When I turned and I threw myself on the grass, and as I was lying there, I turned and I looked at him, and I got a full look at his face, and he's still looking up. And then he turned and looked into the car, and he said to the driver, "Okay, let's go." It probably was all about 2-3 minutes. Maybe.
Very methodical?
Yeah, very methodical. It didn't seem random at all. He had the whole stance done right, Maybe he's seen a lot of movies, or maybe had military training.
Yeah. Now, that witness, Todd Tangway, also told me that it appears the shooter was firing high up toward the sky, and that was a good thing because there were a number of people and cars in the area. Earlier, we heard reports of a bus here on Pico. That bus reportedly may have been hit by gunfire. Not clear if any passengers sustained any injuries at this point, but we are told by police officers here and witnesses here that no one at this location was seriously injured. Now, I should also mention that several witnesses that told us that a woman was driving that Mazda that the gunman was seen stepping out of, and of course we now know that that woman perhaps was a carjacked victim of that gunman. We're live in Santa Monica. Giovanna Lotta, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Right now, Brett, you were inside the library, or actually you had just left the library and you heard the shots fired?
Well, actually I was in the library when the shots had been fired, and what I saw after that was actually horrendous. Basically, we had heard the shots fired. We got into a room as fast as we could, hid there for about 30 to 40 minutes. The cops came and got us out, and then exiting, there was just a horrific scene.
Describe that scene. What did you see?
That scene, so the cops had made us crawl out on our hands and knees. They said, "Everyone get down. We don't know who you are." We were crawling out. The first thing I see is hundreds of rounds of ammunition and then shattered glass. Just absolute chaos. And then exiting out of the library, there was blood trickling down the steps of the S&C library. And then exiting out onto Pearl Street, I saw a deceased body. And I don't know if it was male or female, but they were dressed in complete black. And yeah, that's it.
So you did see someone down, possibly outside of the college?
Yeah, just on the outside of the college on the sidewalk.
Describe how this was for you. I mean, you hear shots fired inside your school. You don't exactly know what's happening. What was going through your mind? Can you tell us?
Well, for the initial bang that I heard, I didn't really know what it was. I thought, someone dropped their stuff or something happened, and then I heard the continuous bang, bang, bang. I knew exactly what was happening. I got into closure as fast as I could, tried to calm everyone down. I'm an LA County lifeguard, so I know in times of stress just to remain calm, because if you freak out, everyone else is going to freak out, and that's not how we needed to do it. We just needed to get in there, be effective, be safe, and just wait for the cops to come get us.
Do you know if anyone is still inside classrooms right now? Are you in contact with anyone?
I have no idea. As far as I know, the campus is shut down completely and finals have been canceled, so.
All right, thank you so much for explaining that to us, Brett. Is Jason Garrett. He was actually inside the library, actually just outside the library, and you saw the shooter. You came face to face with the shooter. Describe that and tell us what happened.
What I saw and what I heard, first I heard that there was a gunshot in the library. I saw the shooter come out and turn towards the other end of campus. He was dressed in all black. It looked like tactical gear. He had a vest on as well. And he was walking away about 15 yards, and he turned towards another building, and he had the long rifle, and it was an AR-15. There was no question. And then after that, I was trying to get people to come out and stay calm and get them off campus, and then we heard rapid shots after that. And I saw them bring out the person. And I heard that there were two shooters actually on campus. I've just been talking to two of my friends that are still in lockdown in two separate buildings, and both of them heard gunshots. And just now, one of my friends, the officers have been knocking on the door, and they've slid their badges underneath the door, and they've said, we're about to open the door. Everyone has to have their hands in the air when you come out. So they're still stuck in there. They don't know, what's going on, and they're terrified.
Let's go back to the shooter. I know that when you'd spoken to me earlier, you said that it was almost eerie. He was methodically kind of walking down the hallway, looking into classrooms, and being very calm, really.
He seemed very calm. He was walking, methodically in a very precise manner. But he was, he definitely was walking it was just very, disturbing to see him in that tactical gear and walking so slowly and thinking about, looked like he was thinking about, where he was going next. And he kept walking, and once he turned the corner, then you heard rapid shots, and I managed to get, some people out of the library. But
and I know you also said that you are communicating with one of your friends who's still inside a classroom right now, and you said she knows that one of her friends was shot.
Yes, she does. I've actually been talking to two of my friends in separate buildings, but the one friend that had a friend shot, she doesn't know if she's alive or not, but she definitely knows that she was in the library, so she knows that, she saw them get shot. So
I know you said when this was happening, you were kind of thinking, we've had a bomb scare, we've had a lockdown before, just in a matter of weeks before, so you almost didn't believe it was happening again.
I would say in the last month and a half, no more than 2 months, the campus has had a suicide. Somebody jumped off the parking structure, a bomb threat, and a gunman, and now this, in a matter of a month and a half.
Very terrifying for you, Jason. Thank you so much for explaining that to us and taking us through that. Of course, some very terrifying moments.
Alex Michelson, who is also at the scene. And Alex, what can you tell us? And where are you exactly?
We're near Virginia and 20th, and we are with Irene and Diane Atkinson. They were driving, and the bullet hit their vehicle as they were driving. Walk us through what happened.
We was coming west from the nail shop on Pico Boulevard, and we got to Cloverfield where there was a stop sign, so we stop light, so we stopped there, and then a guy got out of his car all dressed in black with a big rifle, and he just started shooting.
And let's take a look at just how close this bullet came. It hit the window, went through the car, shattered the window on the other side. Diane, you were sitting in that front seat, in that passenger seat, as this bullet came. What's going through your mind? What was, walk us through.
First things first is pray to God and just bow down. That's it. I fell down. I didn't know what to do. Automatic shock. It's like I didn't know what to do.
And then you say to your mom,
Mom,
drive.
Drive, Mom, drive.
And you said it felt like being in a movie.
It felt like it was in the movie. I was like, just to see this man come like out of nowhere, and it's like, I'm like, oh, wow.
And tell us what he looked like.
He was tall and he was all dressed in black. He had black high boots on as if he was some police officer. And then of course he had this huge black rifle, and he just was right in front of us and just started shooting. And then when he shot us, he went back and shot somebody else at the back of us. I guess the lights went green, and my daughter then said, keep driving, Mum, keep driving.
Your friends were driving in front of you right over here. We want to bring in Terry Holt and Terry Williamson. Come on in. What was the view like from your perspective?
Well, actually, we had just come from the Wiener Schnitzel, and as we were at the intersection, the bus driver was giving us a signal to look. And as I looked to the left, I saw the guy standing in a shooting prone position, and he was just shooting. And I couldn't take off because I was looking at my car. I thought I got shot.
Was he saying anything? Could you look into his eyes at all?
He wasn't saying anything. He was just shooting.
And what did it look like for you?
Well, when he said, "Oh my God, Terry," I was like, I heard the gunshots. I looked at the bus. I seen the bullet hole. So then I just ducked. I just started screaming. I got on the floor of the car. I told him, drive through the red light, just drive. Somebody please help us. That's all you can say, because it hit home. It happens everywhere else. You don't think it'll hit home, and it have today.
Yeah, and we've seen these shootings, and it's so unfortunate to see this here. Were you able to see people on this bus?
Well, actually, my focus was getting away from the area, so I didn't see the bus. I was just trying to get away.
And just must have been complete chaos, complete pandemonium.
Scary.
Real chaos.
People hollering, people screaming, you know, police just coming from out of nowhere. The helicopters, the sheriffs are here. They never been in Santa Monica. They landed their helicopter in the at the college. Scary. And the president's here, so it's really scary.
Garcia, I believe, has another eyewitness that he is going to bring to the cameras. Sid, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I've got Chad Lazari with me. You were in the library when this whole thing happened about noontime?
Yes, sir. I was studying for my biology final, and as I looked out the window, I could see kids looking backwards and running. So I knew something was going on. I got up and started to head towards the front of the library, and that's when we heard a loud bang, which sounded like a shotgun or a small bomb, and then a few repetitive gunshots after that. So I headed back towards the rear exits and helped funnel people out as best as possible and stay calm. And I was just on campus right now, and as I came out, helped us, seemed like a SWAT team, figure out how to get to the other side of the field, the football field.
How crazy was it, just people trying to get out of the library as soon as the shots rang out?
It got pretty scary. I mean, you know, as soon as people realized there was gunshots and it was real, there was immediately a lot of panic. One of the doors wouldn't open, so a lot of kids were panicking against a locked door and funneled around to the other side. Just kept saying, everybody stay calm, we're okay, head to the exit. And yeah, it was scary.
How long was it when you got out that you saw police coming in right away?
From the time gunshots rang out, we headed towards the parking garage side of campus. I would say it was about 15 minutes before a real presence, probably 10 minutes as we saw sirens and heard them going around the exit of campus. There's also a car right in the middle of campus where you can't drive to, with blasted out windows and absolute bullet holes in the side of the car. So I don't know how that's going to figure into this, but it's definitely part of it.
You see anybody get hurt at all or no?
No, I didn't see any injuries. I didn't see the shooter. Just heard everything.